Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael. Welcome to the Gas and Gavel video channel. Today, we are going to take a look at this 2002 BMW E39 M5. If you guys have been enjoying my videos on the Gas and Gavel YouTube channel, I would truly appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to the channel. It would truly help this channel grow and allow me to continue to bring you guys cool, free, accessible, and entertaining car review content. Some background: since the start of this Gas and Gavel YouTube channel, I've completely self-funded every single video, but I'm looking to hopefully change that very soon, and the best way to do that is to increase my subscriber count. So again, I truly appreciate your support, and if you guys been enjoying the videos, please like and subscribe to the Gas and Gavel YouTube channel. Truly appreciate it. And back to this E39 M5 car review. This BMW M5 is finished in a sterling gray metallic over black Napa leather interior. The third generation BMW M5, entitled the E39 model, was produced from 1998 to 2003. The first BMW M5 was introduced way back in 1984, when the first generation BMW M5 was introduced to the world. The E39 BMW M5 was the first BMW M5 to have a naturally aspirated V8 motor. The BMW E39 M5 is only available in a four-door sedan, although there was one single BMW touring wagon M5 developed, but it was never put into production. This 2002 BMW M5 is powered by a 4.9-liter V8 producing 400 horsepower and 369 foot-pounds of torque. All that power is routed to a 6-speed manual transmission, and all that power is sent to the rear wheels. In 2001, the BMW M5 received a mid-cycle update. This mid-cycle update included many different exterior and interior upgrades to the E39 M5. Most notably, in the front, you had your first generation angel eye headlights, you got LED taillights in the rear. And the interior, you got a bigger navigation screen and a steering wheel taken from the BMW E46 M3. And we'll go over more of the mid-cycle updates in detail in the interior and the exterior tour of this 2002 BMW M5. Let's take a look at the engine of your 2002 BMW M5. And here it is. So the BMW literature states that this motor is a 5.0 liter V8. In actuality, it is actually a 4.9 liter V8. The 5.0 liter S62 V8 engine with double vanos and individual throttle bodies pushes out 394 horsepower and 369 foot-pounds of torque. All that power is sent to a 6-speed manual transmission with factory limited slip differential. All the power is routed in classic BMW M style to the rear wheels. The E39 M5 was the first BMW M model to feature a V8 motor. The BMW M5 does a 0-60 time in roughly 5 seconds and has a top speed of 155 miles per hour. Now let's take a look at this motor from an enthusiast perspective. I really love how the valve cover has this carbon fiber finish that says BMW mpower across of it. Very, very nice. Underneath that, you have the classic BMW M logo with the M colors. Very, very nice, clean valve cover for that V8. Another cool feature of this V8 motor, besides the individual throttle bodies for each cylinder, is this dual front intake. Very, very nice. Seems like each of the 4 cylinders has its own intake bank, and the intake looks like it's connected to like a ram air hood feature that probably sucks in air from the front of the car into that intake into the 4 cylinders on the right, and the same thing on the left hand side. You also get additional air intake on the left hand side, probably feeding the left 4 cylinders in that V8. Very, very cool. Definitely functional, and it looks great. And there is no car battery mounted in the front motor. In classic performance car style, the battery is actually mounted in the rear trunk for weight distribution, but you do have access points for various fluids such as your radiator, engine oil. Let's take a look at the key that you get when you do purchase your E39 BMW M5. And here it is in all its glory. Very, very similar to last week's E46 M3 key. It is definitely very simple. Unfortunately, no M markings in the front or the back. As you can see, very, very plain, but you do get a BMW M propeller that doubles up as essentially as your lock button, and the button closest to the key end of your BMW E39 M5 key functions as your unlock button. And on top of the propeller, you do have an electronic trunk release at the top. But again, definitely very, very simple. I wish that BMW would have incorporated some sort of M logo or M color into the key. They did not, but I do like the fact that they integrated all the alarm components into the key component, so you don't have to carry around both an analog key and a bulky remote. It's very nice that it's all in one unit. It's definitely very light, and I'm reviewing this car in 2025, and this key has definitely been used for the past 25 plus years, and again, it's still in pretty decent condition. It still works perfectly, and there's definitely is something beautiful about just, again, a analog key that you can stick into ignition and turn. So again, great key, great function, just lacks the BMW M colors, but beautiful and functional nonetheless. And here's the key that you get when you do purchase your BMW E39 M5. All hail the M. Let's begin the exterior tour of this 2002 BMW E39 M5. And we'll start with the front end. Here are your classic BMW E39 bi-xenon headlights. This BMW features the 2001 mid-cycle update featuring the, I call it the iconic first time where BMW included the angel eyes, which are these halo LED lights around the high beam and low beam, really defining the BMW M of the era. And those angel eyes continue on into later generations of all BMW M models. Very, very nice. So you have a xenon low beam with, again, those LED angel eyes, a amber turn signal, halogen projector high beams, and the entire housing is painted a flat black, giving a kind of menacing, aggressive look. Very, very cool. Quintessential 2000s BMW headlight design. Swing over to the passenger side, again with those angel eye halo headlights and amber side marker turn signal with that black housing. Great contrast against that black housing with that, again, gunmetal finish. Underneath the headlights, you do have these high pressure headlight washers to clean off those angel eyes. And specific to the BMW E39 M5 is these black plastic inserts on the front bumper that are integrated into that BMW M5 specific front bumper. And last week we reviewed an E46 M3, and if you take a look at the front bumper of this BMW M5, it has very, very similar front bumper design. Again, this is a very M specific front bumper with a center functional intake duct. And I love how the side ducts not only appear aggressive, but also integrate OEM BMW fog lights in that classic 90s, 2000s yellow color. Love fog lights. They don't make it nowadays, but again, I love how it's integrated in a black plastic shroud into that intake duct, integrating very, very cleanly with the rest of that BMW M front bumper. I love how the center protrudes out, giving an aggressive front spoiler profile. And again, everything is just tied all together with with all that black trim that's integrated into the BMW M5 front end. The BMW M5 front grille, the M5 kidney grills are actually smaller than a standard BMW M5, and they feature a chrome trim around, again, these functional kidney grills. You definitely see the radiator, and again, all that air probably sucks into this little kidney grill, into the intakes, helping cool that. Again, naturally aspirated V8 motor. And of course, all that is tied up together with the BMW propeller logo in the center of the hood. The 2001 mid-cycle update also featured these updated front kidney grills that became more pronounced and aggressive than the earlier generation or the earlier year models of the E39 M5. Another subtle update to the 2001 BMW M5 mid-cycle update were the fog lights, whereas the earlier year models of the E39 M5 featured a rippled fog light lens. The updated 2001 and up BMW E39s featured a clear, smooth fog light lens, seen here. The powered and heated side mirrors are BMW M specific. The standard BMW M5 in this year is a square design, whereas the M5 has this, again, this curved aerodynamic look to the mirror. Very, very nice. Definitely improves the aerodynamics of the car. And also visual appeal. Very, very nice. And everything is body colored and does mechanically close and open in case you need to protect those side mirrors in tight parking. Another BMW M5 specific design feature on the exterior is this black plastic side molding in the doors that has an integrated BMW M5 logo integrated into there. And this side BMW black trim in the door molding again carries over to that front bumper with, again, that integrated plastic back trim. And all that is tied to black trim in the rear of the rear bumper. And these black trims all the way around is, again, quintessential BMW E39 M5 design features. Very, very nice, and definitely breaks up that gunmetal color. And remind you that this is no mere base BMW M5 or 5 Series. This is truly an M5. And the exterior of the windows of your BMW M5 feature a black shadow line finish surrounding the windows, whereas traditional base BMW 5 Series of this model year features a chrome trim. Again, that black finish definitely lends that aggressive race-ready look of your E39 M5. The front BMW M5 fender features a clear side marker turn signal and hides a very small, tiny secret in that front fender. So if you remember, in most standard M models, usually the biggest design difference would be widened front and rear fenders. In this E39 BMW M5, it doesn't look like it has any sort of wide fenders. So a little background: in the rear, definitely no wide fenders, but in the front, BMW did include slightly, just very, very, very slightly wider front fender flares compared to the standard BMW 5 Series of this model year. Not only was the front fender slightly widened, but also the inner fender lining was also slightly widened to allow accommodation of those much more aggressively wide BMW M wheels. So again, it's not as pronounced, but that front fender is definitely slightly wider than the base BMW 5 Series of this model year. The widened front fender of the E39 M5 is so subtly flared that it's almost unnoticeable. But according to the internet, the fender in the front of the BMW M5 is around just a very tiny 1.6 millimeter to 5 millimeter wider than the standard E39 front fender. But again, in the E39 M5, you do get a widened front fender flare with a standard rear fender of the standard E39 M5 in the rear. And standard on this BMW M5 is the standard powered sunroof up top. Nice luxurious addition to this M5. And on the interior tour, you'll see that the sunroof is also paired with a manual sunshade wrapped in a beautiful Alcantara suede material. The E39 M5's hood doesn't feature any crazy scoops or intake ducts, reflecting its more mature adult 5 Series compared to the M3 model. The standard roof is essentially, again, almost identical to the standard BMW 5 Series. It does get this aggressive V indentation in the hood, hiding that naturally aspirated V8, and there are integrated black colored windshield nozzle cleaners. But again, definitely very clean and more adult than the M3 model, providing again that very subtle one of my favorite features of the BMW 5 Series of this era is definitely the single body line that runs again across that widened front fender, all the way down the body through the door handles and all the way to the rear tail lights. It's especially prominent right now in this sunlight. Let's take a look at the wheel and tire package of the E39 BMW M5. And here are your BMW M5 specific 18-inch style 65 BMW M5 wheels. The wheels are colored in a dark gunmetal gray all the way around, complementing that gunmetal gray exterior. In the center, you do have the BMW propeller logo with an M logo to the side. You have body colored lug nuts. And the front wheels measure a wide 245/40 18-inch wheel. You can definitely tell the wider aggressive wheels with, again, an almost 1-inch lip around the wheel. definitely very aggressive and definitely complements that widened front fender flare. And behind the BMW E39's M5's wheels are these 4-piston, silver painted BMW M specific calipers. And those calipers are attached to a 348mm front rotor. Let's swing around to the rear. And the rears feature a slightly wider wheel wrapped behind a 275/35 18-inch tire. And behind the BMW M wheels, you have a single piston caliper attached to a 328mm brake rotor. The rears feature a slightly wider 18-inch BMW style 65 wheels in a mesh design that are painted as dark gunmetal gray. And the wheels are staggered, so the rear definitely has a slightly wider lip than the fronts. And in the center, you do have that, again, BMW propeller logo with the M logo underneath. Again, great wheel and tire package on the 2002 BMW M5. Let's take a look at the rear of the E39 M5. The BMW E39 M5 wheels are finished in a cool gunmetal color called Chrome Shadow. And those chrome shadow wheels definitely complement that gunmetal paint very, very well. This 2002 BMW M5 features the 2001 mid-cycle update taillights. You can see those LED light bars known as Celis units right here that run across the tail light. The tail light features a red brake light with a clear reverse light and a amber clear turn signal. But again, definitely very cool and definitely very bright with these mid-cycle updates with this LED light bar on the E39 M5. And here are your mid-cycle updated 2001 BMW E39 M5 LED taillights. So earlier year models of the BMW M5 E39 before the mid-cycle update featured halogen bulb taillights. These are the upgraded LED taillights. The taillights were updated by BMW, and BMW calls these the Celis taillight units. And you can see that LED light strip running right across. Very cool. A nice modern update to the older BMW M5s. And definitely these came out at a time when LED taillights weren't that popular or weren't being installed on any car manufacturer. So again, BMW is definitely ahead of their time way back in 2001. They look great, they look modern, and they also provide a huge safety element over halogen taillights. Definitely bright, and just lends us just a modern look. For your mid-cycle update, BMW E39 M5. In between the LED cell-less taillights, you do have a clear reverse light with a amber clear turn signal, and the rest of the bottom of the housing is painted a race red. Very, very cool. Very, very modern. And in the trunk of your E39 M5, you have an M5 specific rear trunk lip spoiler. It is body colored match to that gunmetal paint, and again provides that very subtle, aggressive look to that rear trunk. Very, very clean. I really love trunk lip spoilers. It's very, very subtle, but again, provides just like a really clean finish to that trunk and helping you differentiate from other base 5 Series of this model year. Behind the heated rear view glass, you do have an integrated third brake light. The trunk of the BMW M5 also features the center BMW logo, and of course the BMW M5 logo on the top right hand corner of the trunk, with again the BMW colors with that M5 logo and a nice chrome finish, helping you finish off that trunk of your BMW M5. Now down to my favorite design feature of the BMW M5 is definitely the rear bumper. So again, that rear bumper features M5 specific black plastic integrated bumper finishers that again align with again that BMW M5 specific black moldings, door moldings, and carries over to again that front black plastic trim on the BMW M5 front bumper. Again, these are quintessential design elements on the E39 M5, and definitely provides a great contrast with that gunmetal paint and giving it that aggressive race car like finish. There are integrated parking sensors in the rear. And my absolute favorite design feature of the E39 M5 is definitely the quad tip BMW M5 exhaust integrated into that rear bumper. And that rear bumper has an integrated black painted rear diffuser. It definitely gives the BMW M5 that aggressive race ready rear end. And these quad exhaust tips, again, essentially carried over to future model years of the BMW M5 and future generations. Again, my most favorite part, definitely aggressive looking and aggressive sounding we'll go ahead and play a sound clip right now. So underneath here, you do have your BMW battery. The battery is placed in the rear trunk area, probably for weight distribution. The battery has a very cool M logo cover on that. Very, very cool. And underneath this, there is a tire repair kit. Very, very nice. To the left, you have your DVD-based navigation system. You stick a DVD navigation disc in there from BMW in order to access the navigation in the front dash area. Again, this car comes in a time before we had satellite navigation, so you do need a DVD disc provided by BMW in order to access the navigation. And behind here, if you open this up, you have your BMW 6-disc CD changer. So you stick 6 discs in there, or 6 CDs, close it right up, and you have access to all your music. And this whole entire thing gets covered up with this very nice cover. And in case you forget where the BMW 6-disc CD changer is, there's a little note here for you. 6-disc BMW CD changer. Very, very cool. There is a cargo net with cargo net hooks. And you'd have a very cool, pretty large BMW rear speakers. This looks like a subwoofers. Very, very nice. Part of that BMW sound system. So again, great 16 cubic feet of storage space in the trunk of your BMW M5. Okay, let's begin the interior tour of this BMW E39 M5. It looks like this guy's excited to hear all about it. And we'll start the interior tour with the driver's side door panel. And here it is. This BMW E39 M5 that we're reviewing today has a black Napa leather interior with piano black trim. As you can see on the door handle, you have that Napa black leather with black contrasting cross stitch. And connected to that are your analog window controls. I really love how they have all these arrows to let you know which window goes up and down. So the front windows and the rear windows all have their own individual up and down buttons, so you're never confused about which way the window is going to roll. Very, very nice. You have child protection lock, and you have your side mirror controls. Next to that, you have this chrome sturdy door handle, a side impact airbag, and your memory seat controls are right underneath the door handle to again save your memory seats seating positions in your M5 seats. Cycling out underneath the door handle, you do have various storage compartments lined in this very soft felt material. Very, very nice. Very, very cozy. And over here, you have this very cool compartment. What's this compartment in your driver's side door panel? It is your coin organizer. So you essentially organize all your nickels and your dimes and your pennies, and you slide them into here. And then when you're done, you can tuck them all away. So you have a bunch of loose change rolling around in the interior of your BMW M5. Very, very cool. Right above this piano black trim that runs across the door and the dash, you have your driver's side AC and heat outlet. It is actually integrated into the door, as you can see. A nice way to save space when you're designing the front dash. Very, very cool. And integrated next to the driver's side climate control outlet is your bmwm speakers here, and another one. This is probably your tweeter integrated into the door panel. Very, very nice. And another speaker here with a chrome trim. And here is the door panel of your 2002 BMW M5 sedan. At the driver's side door sill, you do have this very cool chrome BMW M5 trim with the M5 logo, M5 colors. Very, very nice. Helps protect your door sills of your BMW M5, and also provides a very cool styling cue, and also remind you that you are piloting an M5, no mere 5 Series. You have M specific dead pedal in a chrome trim. And there is your clutch, gas, and accelerator. Again, in the E39 M5, there's only one transmission choice, and that transmission choice is 3 pedals and a 6-speed manual transmission with factory limited slip differential. To the left of your dead pedal, you do have your front hood latch to open the front hood, and you have your trunk release button right above that. Cycling out, here are your BMW M5 specific seats wrapped in that black Napa leather. These black Napa leather wrapped BMW M5 seats feature aggressive lumbar bolstering, aggressive thigh bolstering to help hold you in place, and they offer multi-way electronic adjustment, and they are also heated for your comfort. The headrests are adjustable. Very, very nice and very, very functional. Now let's jump into the cockpit and see what it's like to pilot the BMW E39 M5. And here we are. And here we are in the cockpit of your BMW E39 M5. Let's begin the interior tour of the dash in this E39 M5. And we'll start with the tri-spoke steering wheel. So this tri-spoke steering wheel may look familiar to the audience. Last week we reviewed a BMW E46 M3, and if you look at the steering wheel, it is actually very, very similar. Part of the 2001 mid-cycle update of the E39 M5, BMW decided to remove the bulky quad spokes steering wheel of the earlier model years of the BMW M5, such as the 1999 and 2000 model years, and essentially replace it directly with the steering wheel from the BMW E39 M5. It is a skinnier, much more visually appealing, modern steering wheel. It is tri-spoke, it is leather wrapped, and just like the review of the last week's E39 M5, it does have this cross stitch in the BMW M colors. Very, very cool, subtle design feature. At the bottom of the steering wheel, you do have your M logo. In the center, you do have your BMW propeller logo. And your horn is in the center. The steering wheel is wrapped in leather and the sides are perforated. To the right of the BMW emblem on your steering wheel are your cruise control buttons, and directly to the left of the center horn is your audio controls, and also controls to change the instrument cluster options on the instrument cluster. Very, very nice, and definitely looks a lot better than the earlier E39 M5 steering wheels. So definitely, if you're in the market, aim for a 2001 and up E39 M5 so that you can get this tri-spoke steering wheel pulled directly from the E39 M5. The entire steering wheel does telescope forward and backwards and up and down, and that is all done electronically via a tiny stalk located right behind the steering wheel. Behind the left side of your steering wheel, you do have your turn signal controls, and to the right of the steering wheel behind the right side is your windshield wiper controls. Very, very nice, very, very aggressive, and lends a very sporty look, courtesy of the BMW M5's little brother, the BMW E39 M5. And again, you can only find this as part of the mid-cycle update in 2001 in the E39 M5. Here in 2025, where every single car comes with 10 different electronic screens, including an instrument cluster, it's very refreshing to see the E39 M5's analog instrument cluster. The instrument cluster features a 185 mph speedometer with the M5 logo at the center. To the right, you have your rev meter or tachometer, your engine oil temperature, and all the way to the left, your gas gauge. Again, in mid 2000s, early 90s, you just essentially got the essentials. All you need to know about your car: how fast it's going, how hard you're revving, how much gas you have left, and how much, so you can know how much more fun you have before you have to refill. So one interesting thing, if you take a very close look to the tachometer or the rev meter of your BMW M5, there is a kind of like a, it looks kind of like a black slots above the 5,000 to 8,000 RPM. That is essentially your rev limiter. And if you look closely, once I turn on the car, you can see that there's a light, and that light on the rev limiter actually changes depending on the temperature of your car. So if you start your car off early in the morning, that red light will essentially be at the lower RPMs, such as the 4,000 RPM area, to let you know that your car is still warming up and it's not a good idea to rev it too high. But as your car warms up, that rev limiter will increase. Such as right now, I drove this car for about 30 minutes. I'm here in the mountains right now, so the car is pretty warm. So the car is just telling you that the engine is warm enough for you to hit the 8,000 RPM red line. Very, very cool feature, and I think that's great. A way to help protect your engine. And again, despite this instrument cluster being analog, it does have some, again, some tech features such as that. The variable rev limiter, very, very nice. Down at the bottom, you have all your mileage information. Let's see what the instrument cluster looks like when you start up your M5. Well, apparently not much. I thought that the gauges would at least sweep all the way to the right and settle back down, but I guess this does not have that. And to the left of your instrument cluster, in classic BMW design language, is your headlight controls. So this switch here controls your bi-xenon low beams, high beams. And to the right of the instrument cluster is your other headlight control, but this one is for your, again, those integrated fog lights that are mounted in that BMW M front bumper of your M5. The top of the M5 dash is wrapped in that black leather with that black cross stitch running all across the dash. And across the passenger side. Underneath that leather dash, or leather wrap dash, is again that piano black trim running across the passenger side, over to the passenger side door, and all the way across the dash into the driver's area, and across the driver's side door panel. Very, very nice. I really like the integrated piano black with the black Napa. Very, very clean. But of course, this piece here that runs across can be optioned many which ways, from wood grain to carbon fiber to silver trim. But the owner of this E39 M5 decided to do the piano black, giving it the dash a very stealth look. And right in the center, you do have your driver's side and passenger side climate control. Definitely very, very sturdy. All the switches, again, are all fully functional. And that's one thing I love about mid-2000s, early 90s BMWs, especially the interior. They're just so well built. I'm reviewing this car in 2025. And just, again, this car, I wouldn't say is the best well-kept E39 M5, but despite that, again, everything works. There's no broken vents, there's no broken switches. Everything just feels so solid, very secure. Things back in the 90s and 2000s were just, again, just built much more solidly than modern cars today in 2025. Another design element that is a part of the 2001 E39 mid-cycle update by BMW is this multimedia screen. This optional navigation multimedia system was actually upgraded to a larger screen compared to earlier year models of the E39 M5. So again, part of the mid-cycle update is essentially you got a bigger multimedia navigation screen than the earlier model M5s. And this updated multimedia system in your E39 M5 also comes with a nice little bonus surprise when you click this top right hand button. When you click this button, which is the eject button, the entire screen folds down to reveal a tape deck. Definitely very, very cool. And I think this is the first car that I reviewed that had not only a 6-disc CD changer, a DVD, multimedia navigation system, but again, this crazy mechanical feature with this fold down multimedia system to reveal again a classic tape deck. Very, very cool, and very, very tempted to find some sort of tape somewhere in some sort of music store right now and see if it plays. But again, definitely a very cool bonus feature in your multimedia system of your 2002 BMW M5. Very, very cool. And again, this car has a 6-disc CD changer, radio, and something you don't see very often. Again, when's the last time you saw a no tape warning on your multimedia system? Definitely need to find a tape to use this tape player. Very, very cool. And press it to slide it back up. This navigation screen is able to play FM and AM radio. You also have that 6-disc CD changer that's mounted in the rear trunk, so you can add even more tunes to your car. Another cool element for this 2003 model year BMW M5 is that it is actually Bluetooth capable, something that was very, very rare in cars back in 2000s, the early 2000s. I love all the analog buttons. There is a navigation system as a part of this. It is not satellite based. You do need a DVD navigation disc from BMW. And if you remember from the trunk review, the DVD media is inserted into the DVD multimedia slot that's on top of your 6-disc CD changer in the trunk. And underneath your updated multimedia system, you have your climate control section. With analog buttons galore. Very, very nice. And underneath this climate control section is one of my favorite sections of the BMW's E39's dash section. And this is essentially all these rows of buttons here. So let's start with the most luxurious. The driver's side and passenger side seats do have heated seats, and just click that button there to heat up the front seats. There are 3 heat settings, and it's definitely very, very comfortable, especially on cold mornings when you need to sit on that, again, that very cold leather. The PDC button allows you to turn on and off the DSC button allows you to control, turn on or turn off the dynamic stability control in your E39 M5. And in the center is my favorite button. It is the sport button. So just like many other makes and manufacturers, usually especially modern cars now in 2025, have different driving modes from comfort to race to sport. Well, this car is essentially has a normal driving mode and what I call sport race mode. So this is essentially the most aggressive race setting for your E39 M5. And when you click the sport button, basically two things happen to the E39 M5. The first is that the individual throttle bodies on the V8 motor essentially open up completely, allowing essentially lots of fresh air to enter those cylinder heads. And essentially the car just gets a lot faster, like a lot faster. And the second thing that the sport button does when you turn it on is essentially it adds steering weight and tightens up your steering of your E39/E46 M3 steering wheel. And essentially, again, it just gives that much more connected to a road feeling. And I truly believe that if you want to truly enjoy your E39 M5, you should always have the sport button turned on. The BMW literature says that that's what the sport button does for this car. But I also feel another thing that it does is, again, it changes the gearing ratio of your BMW's 6-speed manual transmission and just makes it much more aggressive. And again, your rev limiter just revs a lot faster and you're able to just again shift much more aggressively. So again, sport mode is essentially the race mode of your E39 M5, and that's one of my favorite buttons located on the dash of this car. And underneath that row of buttons, you essentially have a kind of mini charging station. Here you have your essentially cigarette lighter charging port, and you can kind of stick a charger in there and then rest your electronic device here in this little tray. And essentially above this little tray is the world's smallest and shallowest and least stable and secure cup holders. So there are two cup holders that pop right out, but as you can see, they are very flimsy. They do not look very secure, and it's very shallow. So whatever drink that you put on it, every time you essentially rev this car, again, this car has 369 foot-pounds of torque at a very low 3,500 RPM. And when that happens and you guys drink in there, I guarantee you all it does is just fly forward. So again, I wouldn't use these cup holders for anything other than something that's sealed. I assume BMW did this for either weight savings, or they just don't want their E39 M5 owners to put drinks in the car and spill it all over a beautiful Napa interior. But who knows? But essentially these are probably the world's worst designed cup holders. But at least they tuck away. Continuing on. Underneath that charging station and those flimsy cup holders is your only available transmission, which is this 6-speed manual transmission with factory limited slip differential. So your shift knob here is also part of the 2001 mid-cycle update of the E39 M5. The earlier years before the mid-cycle update, the shift knob was a metal trimmed shift knob, and with the mid-cycle update you got essentially a leather wrapped steering wheel knob with a light up BMW M5 shift knob. So not only is the M5 shift knob marked with the reverse and all the gears and its locations, at night when you are driving, this entire shift knob here actually lights up again, so that at night you can see what gear you're in. Very, very cool safety feature. The entire leather wrapped shift knob is also wrapped in this black Nappa with black contrasting cross stitch shift boot. Very, very clean. And the entire shift knob is again shrouded in that piano black trim, giving it just a very clean, classy look to your center console. Underneath your 6-speed manual transmission shift knob, you have your emergency lights and your door lock button right in the center. Underneath that, you have a little storage compartment cubby. And above that, you have another small storage compartment cubby. What can you store there? It's pretty small, but again, at least it gives you some sort of storage options that hides away. The emergency manual handbrake is also part of the mid-cycle update. The previous early model years had a metal lined or trimmed shift parking brake, whereas this one is also wrapped in that black leather with that black cross stitch with a black Nappa leather shift boot or brake boot to match your 6-speed manual transmission's shift boot. And behind all that, you have a center armrest that's wrapped in that black Nappa leather with black cross stitch. And I'm not sure, I suppose for weight savings, there is no additional storage, and this does not open or close. It's essentially just an armrest. This is your passenger side BMW M5 seats, an exact replica of the driver's side M5 seats. They are powered every which way and they are heated. And they are completely wrapped in that black Nappa leather interior with black cross stitch. The passenger side dash, underneath the front dash, there is a lockable storage compartment with a charging port on the inside. Very, very nice. And again, it locks away to keep your valuables safe. The BMW M5 does come with these really cool M5 carpet covers. Very nice. And cycling up top, you have your BMW M5 specific rearview mirror in that circular design, very, very similar to your side mirrors in your M5. Very, very cool. Great design element. You do have a home link system to store all your garage codes, and you do have a interior dome lighting system with ring lights for the driver's side and passenger side. And to the right of your home link system, you have an additional sliding switch here, and that operates your factory sunroof. The factory sunroof comes with this Alcantara sunshade. It is manual, but it is wrapped in this beautiful soft Alcantara material, and you can open it up, and essentially, again, you have a tinted sunroof mirror that opens. So this sunroof opens up completely, but you can also tilt it up to allow a little ventilation. Or if you're feeling truly stuffy, you can go ahead and click the switch forward, and the whole entire sunroof opens right up. Again, allowing all that sunlight and air into your BMW's interior. And if it gets too cold or too sunny, you can just click that button there and close it right up again. Very, very nice. So again, tilts up and tilts down. And located essentially next to the sunroof is again this beautiful Alcantara suede wrapped headliner. I love the feel and look of suede. And from the looks of it, this 20-year-old BMW M5 suede interior has held up very, very well. No sagging whatsoever. Again, the entire headliner is wrapped from the front driver's side passenger seat all the way to the rear window. Very, very nice. The passenger side and driver's side sun visors are wrapped in a contrasting black Nappa leather. You do have vanity mirrors with a light for both driver and passenger. Let's take a look at the rear seats and see how comfortable it is for your rear seat passengers of your E39 M5. Your rear seat passengers are treated to that black Nappa leather. There is that black Nappa leather on the armrest, a window up and down button, a chrome door handle, and they do have a little storage compartment down here for coins or whatnot. And I assume here back in the days you could smoke in the car. I wouldn't recommend it, but there's some sort of little ashtray hidden behind there. Your rear seat passengers are also treated to this M5 silver M-colored door sill trim. Very, very nice. Helps remind your rear seat passengers that they are traveling in an M5. And here are your rear seats of your black Nappa BMW M5. The rear seats of the E39 M5 does seat 3 passengers. You have these integrated headrests for not only the side passengers but also the center passenger. Very cool. Usually you don't really see the kind of headrest in the center for the center person. Very nice touch. Now let's jump in and see how comfortable it is. And here we are in the back seat of your BMW E39 M5. So right now I have the front passenger seat essentially, I'll probably say set in a standard position, not too far back, not too forward, and I still have a good amount of leg room in the front. Pretty comfortable, nice and roomy. Your rear seat passengers are treated to their own climate controls in the rear, and the backseat passengers do have these I guess rear seat holders to put magazines, or in this case this person has chosen to put their front plate in the back. Definitely a good place to have. You can yank that right out if you ever get pulled over. Very, very nice. Your rear seat passengers are treated to a nice thick center armrest. And again, if you need to drive an additional third passenger, this armrest does fold up, and there is a center seat belt for the center seat. The rear seats are trimmed in that nice black Nappa leather. Very, very soft, very, very roomy. And the rear seat passengers are treated to a nice view of that sunroof and that BMW E46 M3 steering wheel. Again, definitely very cool, definitely very comfortable, definitely very roomy. Lots of leg room, lots of headroom. And I love how bright it is, especially with the rear window, with the addition of this side glass. Your rear seat passengers also have these rear reading lights. Very, very nice. And these nice little door handles to hold on for dear life when the driver has stepped on the accelerator of that naturally aspirated V8 motor. rear seat passengers also get to enjoy the touch and feel of that black Alcantara headliner. Very, very nice, very, very comfortable. And again, plenty of room for 3 adult passengers in the rear. And this is the rear seats of your E39 BMW M5. Okay, welcome to the test drive of this 2002 BMW E39 M5. And here we go. So just like any other car review, my favorite thing to do is look for the driving modes in the car and just straight go to race mode. And the BMW M5 does have a race mode, and it is called the Sport button. So right above the 6-speed manual shift knob, you do have this button called Sport. And essentially, when you click that Sport button, the individual throttle bodies of each cylinder head opens up completely, and the steering wheel essentially stiffens up to give you a much more road feel. So again, you just get a much more aggressive acceleration, and again, just a better handling due to, again, that stiffened steering on your essentially E46 BMW M3 steering wheel. So here we go. We're going to start up this car now and see what it's like driving this BMW E39 M5. So we're going to start with acceleration straight out the bat. The BMW E39 M5 comes equipped with that naturally aspirated V8 with the individual throttle bodies and the double Vanos, or what I like to call in Honda speak, double VTEC. And the motor puts out a respectable close to 400 horsepower and 369 foot-pounds of torque. But what I love about, I mean, these numbers may not be astronomical, but again, back in 2000s, a 400 horsepower V8 in a BMW was unheard of. And although it doesn't have the 600 horsepower, 700 horsepower of the current generation M5s, I would say the acceleration on this car is definitely more than adequate. The 0 to 60 times in this car is essentially 4.8 seconds. Which is very, very respectable for, again, a car that weighs almost 3.5 to 4 tons. So with the sport mode on, again, the car's acceleration is definitely, I would like to call it balanced. I feel like cars in the mid-2000s, essentially that was a peak of where horsepower made sense. I mean, nowadays the BMW M5, they come in V10s and twin turbo V8s making 5, 6, close to 700 horsepower. And the issue I have with those type of horsepower numbers is that, again, it's not really usable. And I feel like in a car, everything should be balanced. And it was probably right in the 2000 eras where 400 to 500 horsepower combined with a, again, just a M-tuned suspension with M-tuned brakes and just a wider track. Again, the horsepower numbers matched up to the suspension and the brakes of the car. Whereas I feel nowadays with the 500, 600, 700 horsepower BMW M models or M5 models, I feel that the horsepower numbers for that is just pretty astronomically insane. And there's no amount of tuning or brake caliper size or widened fender flares or widened fender tracks that can, again, keep up with those numbers and make it balanced. Again, I feel like the sweet spot for any road going car is between 400 to 500 horsepower. And that's what I love about this car, is that although it doesn't have the highest horsepower count, all that 400 horsepower is just, again, beautifully matted to that M-tuned suspension, to those 4-piston M-tuned brakes, and again with those widened 18-inch M wheels with a wider front track. Everything just feels very, very balanced. Again, the acceleration, I would rate it a 7.5 out of 10. It is definitely fast enough, and again, it's just very, very impressive that it can go this fast considering the weight of this vehicle. Let's talk about suspension, which is probably one of my favorite aspects of any sort of enthusiast car. So this car does feature an M-tuned suspension. It's not variable. I believe they're McPherson struts, front and rear, with steel coilovers. And I'm a Canyon carver, and I can tell you right now that this car is one of the heaviest, most enjoyable cars to throw around in the canyons. There is a slight, little tiny bit, I'll probably say like 7% of body lean in this car. But given the weight of this BMW M5 in the 3.5 to almost 4-ton weight range, that's pretty impressive. I equate this BMW M5 to like a baby hippo. A baby hippo is big, it's wide, it's heavy, but in the water, the baby hippo definitely carries its weight well. And this is what this BMW M5 does. It carries the weight very, very well. The suspension is tuned where, again, it's stiff enough for me to confidently take these corners. And even despite that 5 to 10% of body lean, that body lean is not aggressive enough to decrease my confidence in this car. It's still very, very enjoyable. Is it as sharp and as nimble as a BMW M3 of this model year, similar to the one that we reviewed last week? Definitely not. But again, in this car, you're getting 2 extra doors in the back. You're getting a huge V8 motor with 2 extra cylinders in the front compared to E46 M3. And again, it's just this car is just meant to carry more and do more. But again, like I said, this car is like a baby hippo. It carries its weight well, and it's just a joy to take through these canyons. And unlike the other BMW M's coupes of this model year, you can definitely take 5 passengers very, very comfortably. I would rate the suspension in this car 8 out of 10. Braking on this car, I would say that this BMW E39 definitely has M stopping power. I like how it's not overtly aggressive, but the pedal feel and the brake feel feels strong enough that when you do need to slow down, as for example on this blind curve here, the E39's 4-piston front brakes again just allow you for that slow, confident, just smooth braking. It doesn't feel spongy. I drove in these canyons earlier, into the canyons for about 20 to 30 minutes, and so again, the brakes, I would rate them, again, I was driving through these canyons earlier, and for about 30 minutes driving pretty aggressively, and there was no brake fade whatsoever, so that was great. Again, brakes are just at that perfect spot, not overtly aggressive, but not spongy or weak feeling. And again, they perform exactly as they should. I rate the brakes on the E39 M5 a 7.5 out of 10. Let's talk the 6-speed manual transmission. So the E39 M5 only comes with one single transmission choice, and that is the enthusiast 6-speed manual transmission with a factory limited slip differential. This car also features, for the first time in the BMW M model for this model year, was the dynamic stability control. And I love the feeling of these mid-2000s manual transmissions. They are smooth. The shifting feels solid. My biggest complaint, I would probably say, for the 6-speed manual transmission is that the shifting of the gears from first to second, second to third, third to fourth, and so on, they are kind of far apart. And I can understand why in the aftermarket, when I was reading about the E39 M5, researching for this video, it seems like there's a lot of short throw shifter options, or aftermarket short throw shifter kits for this car, and this car definitely needs it, because if you shift from first gear to second gear, it feels like you're traveling a mile from first to second. You really have to go from the front of the dash all the way to the back where the armrest is. It's just very, very far apart. I found it kind of laughable when I first started driving this car earlier today. I went from first to what I thought was second, but was essentially neutral. You essentially have to pull it down another like inch, maybe an inch and a half to get into second gear, which is pretty wide. So again, I can understand why there's such a popularity of short throw shifters for this car. So I would rate this 6-speed manual transmission a 7.5 out of 10. Shifts great, just the shifts are long and far apart. So definitely spring for a short throw shifter kit if you can in your own E39 M5. I want to make a note about the acceleration from earlier. One thing I really love about this V8 motor is that although it doesn't make, again, 500 plus horsepower, the 369 foot-pounds of torque, it's available actually at a very low 3,500 RPM, which makes it a really, really great daily driver, because again, this car just feels just very torquey. Just driving around from like 0 to 3,000 RPM through all the gears, it just feels, again, just very powerful, very torquey on the low end, which again just makes it really a thrill to drive daily throughout the streets and throughout these canyons here, because all that power is just available at the low end. Let's talk sound. Sound wise, as far as exhaust, so for me, I prefer a car that pops and gurgles and that you can really hear the scream of the exhaust. The BMW M5 quad tips exhaust is actually deadly quiet, and I'm not going to ding it because again, I feel like the E39 M5 is essentially the sophisticated, mature, older M model of this generation. If you wanted something loud and just like pops, gurgles, and just like gets the attention of the entire neighborhood, that's what the M3 was for. The immature, wild, younger brother. Whereas the E39 M5 is essentially the older, more responsible, much more forward-thinking, just much more humble and subtle, older sibling of the M models of this year. And the exhaust is just meant to be quiet. No matter how high you rev it, you actually don't really hear the exhaust at all, which is great. And this is what this car is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a quiet car for a more mature adult, maybe like a working professional. The interior, despite this interior being made in the mid-2000s and I'm test driving in 2025, the interior with the windows up, it's actually it's just very, very quiet. There's no rattles, there's no creaks, and I can't even hear any of the road noise outside. Is it as quiet as a Rolls Royce? Probably not, but it's definitely pretty quiet given, again, when this was made. So sound, despite not having pops, gurgles, and rumbles, I rate the sound 9 out of 10. Definitely if you're looking for a quiet, enthusiast performance car and you don't like all that road noise or the exhaust noise, the E39 M5 is definitely a great car to purchase to get that performance without the loud, sometimes maybe annoying noise of a louder performance car. Talk the 6-speed manual transmission. So the E39 M5 only comes with one single transmission choice, and that is the Enthusiast 6-speed manual transmission with a factory limited slip differential. This car also features, for the first time in the BMW M model for this model year, was the dynamic stability control. And I love the feeling of these mid-2000s manual transmissions. They are smooth. The shifting feels solid. My biggest complaint, I would probably say, for the 6-speed manual transmission is that the shifting of the gears from first to second, second to third, third to fourth, and so on, they are kind of far apart. And I can understand why in the aftermarket, when I was reading about the E39 M5, researching for this video, it seems like there's a lot of short throw shifter options, or aftermarket short throw shifter kits for this car, and this car definitely needs it, because if you shift from first gear to second gear, it feels like you're traveling a mile from first to second. You really have to go from the front of the dash all the way to the back where the armrest is. It's just very, very far apart. I found it kind of laughable when I first started driving this car earlier today. I went from first to what I thought was second, but was essentially neutral. You essentially have to pull it down another like inch, maybe an inch and a half to get into second gear, which is pretty wide. So again, I can understand why there's such a popularity of short throw shifters for this car. So I would rate this 6-speed manual transmission a 7.5 out of 10. Shifts great, just the shifts are long and far apart. So definitely spring for a short throw shifter kit if you can in your own E39 M5. I want to make a note about the acceleration from earlier. One thing I really love about this V8 motor is that although it doesn't make, again, 500 plus horsepower, the 369 foot-pounds of torque, it's available actually at a very low 3,500 RPM, which makes it a really, really great daily driver, because again, this car just feels just very torquey. Just driving around from like 0 to 3,000 RPM through all the gears, it just feels, again, just very powerful, very torquey on the low end, which again just makes it really a thrill to drive daily throughout the streets and throughout these canyons here, because all that power is just available at the low end. Let's talk sound. Sound wise, as far as exhaust, so for me, I prefer a car that pops and gurgles, and that you can really hear the scream of the exhaust. The BMW M5 quad tips exhaust is actually deadly quiet, and I'm not going to ding it because again, I feel like the E39 M5 is essentially the sophisticated, mature, older M model of this generation. If you wanted something loud and just like pops, gurgles, and just like gets attention of the entire neighborhood, that's what the M3 was for, the immature, wild, younger brother. Whereas the E39 M5 is essentially the older, more responsible, much more forward-thinking, just much more humble and subtle, older sibling of the M models of this year. And the exhaust is just meant to be quiet. No matter how high you rev it, you actually don't really hear the exhaust at all, which is great. And this is what this car is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a quiet car for a more mature adult, maybe like a working professional. The interior, despite this interior being made in the mid-2000s and I'm test driving in 2025, the interior with the windows up, it's actually it's just very, very quiet. There's no rattles, there's no creaks, and I can't even hear any of the road noise outside. Is it as quiet as a Rolls Royce? Probably not, but it's definitely pretty quiet given, again, when this was made. So sound, Despite not having pops, gurgles, and rumbles, I rate the sound 9 out of 10. Definitely if you're looking for a quiet enthusiast performance car and you don't like all that road noise or the exhaust noise, the E39 M5 is definitely a great car to purchase to get that performance without the loud, sometimes maybe annoying noise of a louder performance car. Steering wheel feel. I love the steering wheel feel of this BMW E39 M5, especially when you turn on the sport mode. Again, the sport mode just does tighten up the steering wheel, giving it a much more heavy feel. So again, it just feels like, again, you're just very connected with the road. You're very one with the road. Everywhere you point it, the car just turns and goes. It doesn't feel loose. It doesn't feel like the steering wheel's overpowered. Again, it just feels like, again, you actually do have to put a little bit of work in your arms when you do have it in sport mode, but the steering wheel just feels really great, just really great road feel. And this really great road feeling is definitely something that's missing in a modern 2025 type vehicles. But in the mid 2000s, again, they just had it, BMW just had it right. Great road feel. I rate the steering 9 out of 10. And the steering wheel feel of the steering wheel. Again, this car is a 2001 E39 model. It does have the mid-cycle update of the BMW M5 of this model year, the 3rd generation. And with the mid-cycle update in the 2001 up models of the E39 M5, you did get a updated steering wheel, and the steering wheel is actually pulled straight from the E46 M3. And again, if you've seen my previous E46 M3 review, definitely a great steering wheel. It feels great with that leather wrapped perforated steering, and again, just perfect size, perfect feel. And it looks great and feels great. Again, just if you can and you're looking for E39 M5, definitely spring for the updated 2001 mid-cycle update, because again, you get this really cool E46 M3 steering wheel in your E39 M5. The seats of the BMW M5, they're definitely very comfortable. These mperformance seats are heated, so it's pretty great how you can have a race car with heated seats. They do have nice aggressive side bolsterings on the on your thighs and your lower back area. So again, I'm not sliding anywhere. I can take these turns very aggressively, very confidently, and again, my body does not move anywhere. My legs stay nice and firm, so I can reach for the clutch and brake and accelerator very easily. So again, I love how these seats are a nice medium between luxury loungers and race bucket seats. And of course, big plus on cold winter mornings here in California, you can heat up those seats. And the biggest pro of the BMW E39 M5 is its status as, I believe, as one of the modern classics of 2025. And I define a modern classic as a 90s to 2000 vehicle that has a high demand and high collectability. So right now, today, I'm reviewing this E39 M5 on, it is October 11th, 2025. And if you go on Bring a Trail right now and look up the E39 M5, there's actually one with, I think, a day left at auction. It's a very similar car to the one I'm reviewing right now. The biggest difference is that it has very low miles and it's been very well taken care of. And currently, I think the bidding, the last time I saw it, was at $109,000. So again, it is not an outlier. If you take other auction websites such as Cars and Bids and Bring a Trailer, and you look up other E39 M5s, depending on the spec, depending on the condition, and depending on the history, the car is in high demand. And again, I equate this high demand to essentially the fact that they don't make cars like this anymore. A V8 rear-wheel drive with 5 seats. And again, despite the certain manufacturer issues such as the Vanos and the timing chain issues, overall the V8 motor in the E39 M5 is absolutely actually very, very reliable. Probably one of the most reliable M motors of all existence. That also contributes to the, again, high collectability, and what I call the biggest pro of the E39 M5 is that it is definitely a modern classic that's definitely going to be highly collectible. And I feel like just like the E46 M3, certain examples of this E39 M5 will, I feel, increase in value in the future. So again, if you are in the market for one, maybe this is one car that you buy that doesn't become a liability, but maybe it becomes an asset to you, and maybe you can break even while you enjoy it, or again, maybe make a profit from it in the future. So again, find that balance, drive it, enjoy it, but also take care of it, because again, in 2025, no manufacturer is making a car like the E39 M5. And lastly, again, all E39 M5s came in 6-speed manual transmission, and just like anything with a manual transmission nowadays, it's becoming rarer and rarer. And this car does have one of the best or better mid-2000s 6-speed manual transmissions. So combine that all up, this is a great enthusiast performance car that is a modern classic that if you put your money into, if you buy smartly, you may again break even on your ownership and enjoy the experience, or maybe in the future again sell it to another collector and profit some instead of losing some, like most car enthusiasts we know, including myself. So again, biggest pro, E39 M5 is definitely a modern classic here in 2025, and pick yours up when soon before these values skyrocket. And you heard it here first, so let's maybe I'll revisit this video in like 5 years and see if I was right or wrong. And here in 2025, again, what makes this car stand out is when this car came out, it all came out only with a 6-speed manual transmission, no option for SMG, no option for an automatic transmission. All you got was 3 pedals and 6-speed manual transmission. And here in 2025, there's not a single manufacturer that is doing that, offering a make and model that only comes in a manual transmission. So again, another huge contributing factor to the high collectability and making this car definitely a modern classic whose values will definitely rise in the future. So the first con of the E39 BMW M5 in my eyes is I feel like if you're looking for a performance car with a very more aggressive race ready look, the E39 M5 is definitely not it. It's unfortunate that the BMW E39 M5 lacks the widened front and rear fenders of traditional BMW M models. And although the front fenders are slightly wider than your base BMW 5 Series as model year, it's not by much, and it's actually very, very unnoticeable. I wish that, again, I feel like when you pay a premium for any sort of like M5 model, or in Mercedes-Benz case, an AMG model, or any model that's I guess the top of the line version of that car, they should feature something that distinguishes it from their base counterparts, such as widened front fenders or just more aggressive wheel and tire setups at the minimum. But the BMW E39 M5 definitely does not have it. So again, although it looks great and it does have all that BMW M5 performance trim, all of the performance M5 trims is just very, very subtle, from just like that very subtle lip spoiler to, again, just like that very subtle front and rear BMW M bumpers. I just feel like I wish that BMW for this specific generation just add some sort of widened front and rear fenders to give it a much more aggressive look that helps distinguish it from the more standard models. So again, con, if you're looking for a little more race ready, aggressive look, you're probably not going to find it in the E39 M3 or M5. And again, that makes sense because I felt like this E39 M5 model is essentially the mature adult older brother of the BMW M series of this model year. If you want something more wild, you can go for its little brother, the M3. But again, this car is more, again, the adult version, more mature, more sophisticated, and just much more subtle look. But if subtlety isn't what you're going for, definitely it's a con in my book for the BMW E39 M5. Another big con of the E39 BMW M5, similar to the last review with the BMW E46 M3, is this car has Vanos problems. So as a refresher, the E46 M3 had a huge issue with its Vanos system. In the BMW E39 M5, you actually have double the trouble, because in the E39 M5's V8 motor, you have a double Vanos system. And in this generation of the E39 M5, there is a prevalent, essentially similar to the E46 M3 Vanos issues, is the Vanos failure. So the double Vanos in the BMW M5, the Vanos system uses oil pressure to change the intake and the exhaust cam timing, hence why it's called a double Vanos. And if this does break, essentially there goes your motor, and also you'll start encountering various performance issues, and it is a pricey repair. Estimates online quote upwards of $4,000+ to replace that Vanos system. So again, that's the second con, that there is a prevalent manufacturer issue that was never addressed by the manufacturer. And the only solution to that is, number one, before you purchase your E39 M5, to get a great pre-purchase inspection, or make sure that the previous owner has addressed the Vanos issue or replaced the Vanos unit. Second is, if you do buy E39 M5, to be aware of the symptoms of a failing Vanos, and to set aside a few $1,000s in your back pocket to replace that unit if it does fail or fall apart. And the third con of the BMW E39 is a issue with the timing chain. And the timing chain tensioner itself is very, very weak. And essentially, if this tensioner on your timing belt breaks or snaps, it essentially kabooms your E39 V8 motor. So again, that is a prevalent issue, and it is a risk in this E39 model year. But just like previous manufacturer defects, the best treatment is essentially prevention. So again, get a great PPI pre-purchase inspection on your E39 M5. Make sure that maybe the previous owners have taken care of this issue. And it's very important to, again, consistently monitor your timing chain, looking for that tensioner wear. And if you do see that tensioner wear, to immediately replace that piece, to prevent, again, the snapping of that tensioner and the exploding of your engine. I hope you guys enjoyed this review of this 2002 BMW E39 M5. If you enjoyed this car review, please like and subscribe to the Gas and Gavel YouTube channel. We truly do appreciate your support, and tune in next week for more performance, exotic, and enthusiast car reviews.